You see, it's a different method that I'm talking about. If a subject survives my method, he or she is instantly rehabilitated.
The world of Saw is definitely not a fair one. Maybe you're a selfish person who has to dig into a non-dead guy you don't know, or maybe you have to cut off your own skin or locate a key behind your eyelid. In this video, we're going to look at the Saw traps that are basically guaranteed to kill you, or at least heavily stacked against you. Now obviously a lot of these traps come down to somebody else, it's completely out of your hands.
Everybody deserves a chance.
But even in those cases, the victims may have to endure something. I'm not going to be considering rig traps like the pendulum, obviously not ones that are designed to be unbeatable such as the water cube, only traps that provide a solution, but survival is extremely unlikely to near impossible. Let's dive into the victims that John Kramer must have really disliked.
Or all the people you've burned with your act just might have their revenge.
Now the first one is the ever so confusing flammable jelly, and I don't know if it's really meant to be unbeatable. There's definitely a lot stacked against him, being poisoned, broken glass, flammable substance. It really is a bad deal. But the problem is the solution. He's supposed to use a candle to find the combination on the wall, to open the safe to get the antidote, but they don't bother to explain how he's meant to do this. We clearly see numbers everywhere, no way of knowing which ones are correct. Some say the candle has to be right up to it to reveal it, others suggest trial and error, but those are just theories. It really does seem John hated this guy. Yeah, the razor wire maze wasn't easy, but it could have probably been beat by simply not panicking. In this case, all I can figure is he's supposed to get lucky, but given how many things are stacked against him, doesn't really seem likely.
Are you willing
Have mercy.
to take a bullet for the man who killed your son?
The same cannot be said for the rack in Saw 3, and yeah, I am cheating here. This one is definitely survivable, but the reason I include it is because of its unique nature. Normally, when someone has to save somebody, they're not given a huge incentive not to, but in the case of Jeff, that's the idea. All the victims in this movie attributed to his son's death, but unlike the rack, saving them is quite easy and without consequence. At least, physical consequence. But for the guy who actually killed his son, he's gonna have his arms twisted the wrong way, right off the bat, followed by his legs, and finally his neck. Jeff has to obtain the key tied to a shotgun trigger, but even if he did choose to act immediately, which he obviously doesn't, he's still probably gonna lose both his arms and experience an extreme amount of agony. Even John says,
There is a chance he might live, though, with your help.
showing off how stacked against him it is. And while I'm not considering if he deserved to be there, his son's death was an accident. It's not like he deliberately killed him. That would have made more sense. For some reason the guy who made a mistake gets one of the worst fates in the entire franchise. No good way out, and even though it is survivable, when he finally does get the key, he can't even find out where to put it, so what the hell? I put this very high on my ranking, but I kinda regret that now.
Talk to me!
The same can be said for the mausoleum trap. I also put that very high on my ranking, but now that I think about it, it's kinda bullshit. It got that ranking due to its unique idea, one victim having his eyes sewn shut, the other his mouth, meaning they can't communicate, and given the chains around their neck pulling them to their death, they have to fight to survive. That's where the issue comes in. It's presented as a fair game, but obviously it isn't. Yeah, Trevor is given some weapons while Art isn't, but that doesn't change the fact that he can't see. If Art was supposed to win and simply killing somebody was a challenge, that'd be okay. Kinda like in Saw 6 with the oxygen crusher, William was definitely given the advantage, but in this case, it's just meant to be a fair fight. Obviously, Art wins, and with no context to explain that killing a blind guy was the challenge, a fight to the death, winner take all, I can't help but admit I messed up again and overlooked a serious flaw.
And the toll is the ultimate sacrifice, the sacrifice of flesh.
A pound of flesh has basically the same issue, only it isn't quite as obvious, and at least it'd be excruciating either way. The winner goes to whoever cuts off the most skin, meaning no easy exit, but even if they did both commit immediately, one of them is at a clear disadvantage. Eddie is... He has a lot of additional flesh to spare. The nature of what they have to do could lead to any outcome, but given Eddie goes all in, he seems to have it in the bag. However, Simone does win by hacking off her arm, making Eddie's efforts in vain. But if he'd simply noticed what she was doing and stopped to do the same thing, he would have still had the advantage. Not to mention Simone is permanently disfigured, a much higher price to pay. But if Eddie had simply noticed what was going on, and let's face it, he probably would have done anything to win, Simone would have no chance. Bottom line, if flesh is the name of the game, it should be a fair ratio. But you do have a chance to hit the like button down below, and subscribe if you enjoy the video. Remember, the gaming channel is there too. It's got the same content but with games, link in the description.
The key to Nina's survival, which will shut off her device. But there's a catch.
You could argue this one is survivable, maybe it is, but damn, did Nina get one of the worst fates in the entire franchise. I mean, yeah, Bobby's wife Joyce literally did nothing wrong and got incinerated, so that's weird. But Bobby could have saved her if not for bad luck. I don't know how he could have saved Nina. The fact that he has to pull a fish hook out of her throat that's really deep in the stomach area is hard to imagine enough. I don't want to know what the lasting effects would be on your insides. It can't be good. But the reason it's basically unsurvivable is because John decided to make it even harder and prohibit screaming, because she was silent about his books that lied about him. But that's pretty much impossible. The metal rods would come closer whenever the sound went above a whisper. One of the most painful traps in the franchise, and not being allowed to yell would make it near impossible, as what she has to endure is excruciating. Technically it's doable, but I don't think many could, and when you add on the inside damage, well, who knows? The point is, it's beyond fucked up.
There is, however, one person who can help you. Ryan.
Another trap that disproves my point by successfully killing nobody. That's just because Jigsaw has some of the easiest traps in the series, and in this case, logic is ignored. Given Anna and Mitch are completely trapped in the grain and unable to move, survival is out of their hands. It's up to Ryan to save them, thus sacrificing his leg, but the catch is that sharp implements of destruction are currently falling into the silo, so realistically, they probably wouldn't survive. They do because the plot needs it, a few injuries are sustained, but the fact is, with that many sharp items coming at you at that rate, even if Ryan acted immediately, you'd very likely be fatally hit. The movie makes it look more reasonable than it is, but I just don't buy it. In real life, you'd be fucking dead.
I'm here to help reform the Metro Police, to remind them of their oath to the people of this city.
But not as dead as in the movie Spiral. Maybe not the worst one, like I previously said, but the traps are bad. It's been the source of contention in my Saw trap ranking video, but I stand by the fact that these traps being unsurvivable were not the intention. I can see why people think they are, but nothing in the movie indicates that, aside from them not making sense. And the subway trap is the most blatant. It's a simple idea, he has to sacrifice his tongue to escape, and so many things don't make sense about that. Ripping out his own tongue, you could easily bleed to death. The odds of getting to safety before that are unlikely, and other medical reasons why it's basically a death sentence. So many comments complaining about this, but I don't believe the movie is using scientific logic. As for the wax trap, it's even more idiotic. She's supposed to sever her spinal cord to stop the wax, but that's not gonna stop it. It's not explained how. Every other trap does explain why losing something will free them. This one doesn't. And on top of that, the wax comes out immediately. Paralyzing herself with a blade could kill you. How would she get the wax off her face if she can't move? So many things don't make sense about this. It's so idiotic. And the movie would have made more sense if the traps weren't survivable. You can throw in the glass grinder too. Yeah, there was a way out. Solve the riddle fast enough to get the key and free him, but again, nobody's gonna figure it out that quickly. It's possible, but highly unlikely, and the one thing that disproves the it's intentional theory is the finger trap. And no, it's not because he could climb out of the pool as nothing's holding him in, and the stuff on his hands is definitely long enough. It's because despite pulling off his fingers and still failing, he would have made it if he hadn't taken a break. Many traps go like this, failing at the last second due to slight hesitation, example being Saw X. So that really ends the theory that death is automatic. No, it's just a really bad movie. I think Jigsaw is a worse movie, but these traps are just lazy throughout. They can't be beat because of bad design, and most of it is blatantly obvious. As for Saw X, it may have some insane traps, but I don't see any of them as being unbeatable. Maybe if I was a doctor I would, and movies like 2 and 5 also sat this out. It makes sense. Saw 5 is one of the easiest movies, given they used common sense. Saw 2 doesn't take anything too far. So that concludes all the Saw traps that I feel couldn't be beat, with a few exceptions. The stuff that I've gotten wrong could be insurmountable, so the comment section is there to let me know. Again, the algorithm is completely broken, so sharing the video is highly appreciated, as is hitting the like button and subscribing if you enjoyed. Don't forget the gaming channel, same content with games. There's a link in the description. I'm the Analyst, and remember kids, I guess some people don't deserve a chance.